Hi everyone, I'm the rum.
And I'm the wine.
Yes, I know, new location. Yeah, that was part of the clue of what happened. We moved. Yeah, we moved in
the craziest way we could have possibly moved. Like, wouldn't repeat the process, but so glad we made it.
Yeah, so today, this is a full story time. So strap in for this one, cause, we're going from how we decided to move to signing a lease in like 48 hours to then having days, literal days to move. So yeah, this one's gonna be fun. So our story begins right after our trip to West Cork and Kerry, where we got back into lovely Dublin, narrowly missing the level 3, which would have prevented us from going outside the county, only to think that, you know what, this place is a bit too small, I feel cramped, it was so good in the big outdoors there. Yeah, you know what, I was thinking, we should move. I didn't know when, but that was all it took.
Yes, he casually mentioned. So we came back from the trip and we still had a few more days left of holiday. But if you live in the city centre of Dublin and there's rising COVID cases, and whenever you try to go out, there's people with cans sitting by the canal and there's like nowhere to really go, you kind of stay home. And the boring thing we decided to do was, if the flat feels cramped, we figured, let's clean up the flat, let's do a big giveaway all the clothes we don't wear, throw out stuff kind of thing. And then he goes, we have to move. It wasn't just casual, he literally walked into the room and he was like, we have to move. I was like, okay, well, if my husband's that desperate to move, I guess I go on Rent.ie and start checking out places immediately.
It wasn't that desperate, but it was like, you know what?
You didn't see your facial expression. And we just walked into the room like, we got to move.
Yes, and so, as per our other videos about renting in Dublin, etc., that we kind of took our own advice and went on the quickest look for a new flat we ever did in our lives.
So I started off by looking at what kind of flats there were around at our price range. Like in the past, because our offices are in the city centre, and maybe you don't know, but a lot of people have been working from home where it's possible, because that's technically what you're supposed to do since March, including us, and that's not going to change anytime soon. So we were like, that actually frees up so much when it comes to the location, and suddenly we're considering places we would have never considered moving to before, because we don't have to physically go to an office to do our job, luckily. So we just started looking without much decision about what area, just to get an idea what's out there in the market. And if you've watched one of our previous videos, we've complained that in spite of all the COVID-ness and tourism going down, somehow rents in Dublin have still not fallen, which makes no sense, but they're still high as ever. So we realized, sure, we could maybe get a slightly bigger place at the same price range, but it's still tough. And then we had a random thought. We have friends who are actually subscribers of the channel, that's how we met them. And we knew they moved into an apartment block they really enjoy, and they have flats opening up there. So we're like, just a crazy thought, let's go check out that flat. And we saw the price, but we also saw how much bigger the flat is. Like literally almost 3 times.
You know what's funny? When people tell a story, they tell it way calmer than it is. I'd like y'all to think that we casually thought, maybe we could move into this flat. But no. Leaving out all of the crazy anxiety about, in the middle of a pandemic, is this the best time to move? Everything she already mentioned, stuff being more expensive and stuff, it's like, is this the right choice? Should we do this? Because she did mention one set of friends, but then we had another set of friends who were there, going to these far off counties that, these were true Dubliners, and they're like, nah, we're going to Meath. We're done with this place.
It was like literally moving to smaller towns, which, like, I'm from a small town. Small town. I'm from a village. I'm from a tiny village in the countryside, and it's like, if I ever have to go back to the office, I'm not doing that commute. I refuse to have to commute that far. So we were like, we're definitely staying in Dublin, but we're a lot more open to any other parts further outside Dublin.
Yeah. So in this case, new location meant places to go where we don't encounter, COVID carrying little vectors for,
What he means
drinking
is
a
people.
child.
I think.
Yes, that was a nice way to put it. So, yeah. But basically, as you said, found this place at Sarah and we were like, fine. Do we need to go in person? No. We can just get things going. So, in within 48 hours, we were like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, we got the pictures of the flat, a floor plan, which had a touching moment for us, an emotional moment where we realized we could store our suitcases somewhere where we constantly have to look at them and run into them in the hallway. And we talked through with one of our friends who's good with finances and one of our finance friends to talk to, and she was like, just do it, you mushrooms! Except she was saying it in German, and we were like, she's right. It's like, it's more rent than we wanted to pay, but the trade-off with how much more stuff we get for that little more rent in comparison, it's just like...
Yeah, that's the boring part. We need to get to the excitement. Don't worry, we'll tell you numbers and figures at Sarah that in another video at Sarah that. This is for the story.
Yes,
because if you think
drama.
48 hours beside the lease was the start of it, no. Wait till what comes next. Alright, so, of course, now we're here pandemic times, etc. like that. Things are happening. We decide, let's give ourselves a nice leeway. Let's give ourselves about 6 weeks to move, etc. like that. We're like, things will level out with the cases. Nothing bad's gonna happen at all. Q1 innocent Sunday night. You remember this Sunday night? We were just there having dinner.
Instant anxiety.
Yeah, so we for some reason decide after watching some Netflix to look at our phones. And what's the good man's name? Your man.
Tony Hollowan, the CMO, Chief Medical Officer, for those who don't have them in their countries. Basically the main doctor person to talk about the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, like he was on holiday, for good reason. And the first thing this man did after he came out on holiday, he seemed to have surveyed the situation and was like, this is bad. You know what? Here's our recommendation. Level 5. Which for you people who don't live in Ireland or haven't been following, that is our highest level, pretty much a lockdown situation. The rum and the wine realised that 6 weeks may be just a little too... Yeah. So that was the thing. So it wasn't that bad because we were thinking, okay, fine. Let's probably put the move up 2 weeks. This is fine.
Still before the bank holiday weekend.
Yeah, because the immediate thing that day, the ministers, the TDs, whatever you call them out here, they were like, lockdown? Nah, we're not going to do this. And we're like, okay, the government doesn't want this. We're safe, we're cool. But paranoid little us were just like, let's move this up a couple of weeks.
Yeah, let's start packing, because our grand plan was like, we'll have 6 weeks to move, it'll be super chill.
We'll make videos for you guys.
We ordered boxes to pack early because we like planning the moment we've made a decision and get excited about stuff. So we had our boxes already sitting there and we're just like, okay, we're gonna use every free moment that we have and start packing anything that we can pack just to be extra safe and paranoid.
Yeah, so what happened next? So the situation at this time was that Dublin was at level 3, 2 away from level 5. And they were just saying, we're going to wait, 2 weeks or so to see how the situation is going to improve or degrade. At this point, the numbers are rising. The rest of the country goes on level 3 as well. We start doing the calculations and we're like, nah, this 2 week time period, something might change. So we were like, bank holiday weekend, a nice 4 day
3 days.
Yeah, 3 days.
If we take 1 day off.
Yeah, we take a day off. Days Sarah off, and we'll go moving this bank holiday weekend. Cue the next set of panic.
So not only were we obsessively checking the news about the COVID cases in the Republic of Ireland, so where we live, but also in Northern Ireland, which belongs to the UK, because the numbers there started increasing drastically. Like, they were having more cases than the Republic, but they have like about half-ish the population.
I'm not sure, but smaller population. That's what we're going with. Yeah, and so the crazy thing is that these things weren't happening in other, the north, etc., that northern parts of the counties, that they were happening on the border with Republic, rather. So if it's on the border, it might as well be here, because as Julia was saying, we're there checking the reports, etc., that. But then, out of the blue, to seem like everyone, government in Northern Ireland is just like, okay, guess what? I think it's lockdown time. It's like the middle of the week. And so they're like, yeah, remove the lockdown. And then all of a sudden, the Republic has its pressure upon it, because if they're doing something about the border counties, we need to do something as well. Answer in turn, and we're like,
Especially because so many politicians on either side of the border have been like, we need to work together as an island to have a response to COVID. And now it's like, well, they have the harsh restrictions, so I guess the Republic has to do something, because otherwise it'd be awkward.
Boom, level 4 in the counties. And we're like, this is fine. This is fine. Not fine again. And it's about to be a whole lot more not fine. What was this? Was this like the Monday or something?
So we, after about a week of anxiety of just obsessively watching the news, reading and report every rumor that we could find on trying to understand how the situation would turn, we were like, we're done with this. We're moving early as we can, because I'm sick of this. So Monday morning, we wrote to the new landlord, because that Monday was the original proposed date that they had for us to move in. So we're like, the flat must be free. They probably like money, so if we're like, hey, we'll give you the rest of the rent to move in 3 weeks early, will you let us? They said yes pretty quickly, so I guess they like our money. So we're like, okay, so we now have 5 days, because we asked for that Friday to be the move-in date, to start planning our move for that weekend.
Yeah, the thing is that she's jumping ahead, because at this moment, the move-in date was still Saturday.
Yes, pick up keys on Friday, move in on Saturday. That was the plan.
Exactly. So we were gonna, as you saw from our last video in, Cork Kerry, our good friend was gonna just get in a go van and help us do the move. Easy peasy. But then, it was a Tuesday night. An innocuous Tuesday night. Where I was like, hi, did we book the van? Are we ready to go? Because we're packing almost ready to go. But my man was like, so you see what happened was the colleague of my girlfriend, family member, got tested, COVID, came out positive, so we're isolated now. And we're like, We're like, well.
Because we were doing the maths and we were like, even if that colleague's test, because they're waiting on the test, so even if that takes even just a few days, but for them to then get the results, that'll never be in time for Saturday for us to be able to move.
The thing is, because the thing is that, why would you risk it? It's that. Whether it's positive or negative, boom, they've got to isolate anyway, it's until they know the results. And with the testing, you don't know if it's going to come back tomorrow, or 2 days, or 3 days. We weren't taking a chance. So, as wise people would do, we decided, all right, we'll look at some movers, blah, blah, blah. We'll deal with this in the morning. Who told me to look at my phone for literally 2 minutes before going into bed?
I was already half asleep, and sadly, he's like, there is some news that is that good and I shouldn't tell you, but I have to.
Yeah. So on this, completely different title that was just talking about some costs related to COVID, because I'm like, I like money in governments and see,
It
stuff
was
is
budget time. It
going
made sense
on.
for them to be talking about it.
There was one Pacific line that was there. Well, we will have to probably review the COVID's, the restrictions on Friday. And we're like, Friday? These people have usually met for something on Friday and be like, this measure is done by midnight Friday. I was like, okay. New plan. In the midst of panic, it's like, we're gonna plan what we're gonna do. It was like emergency meeting right on the bed, right there. Good. It's like
half asleep. Like, what do we do?
Yeah. So we came up with this plan. Yeah, this plan was pretty much in the morning, earliest person we can call, etc. That 48 hours to go. Cause this is where we need to move on Friday.
Yeah. We were like, there's no doubt about it now. We gotta move on Friday. We can't risk waiting till Saturday. And because the thing we should clarify for people who don't know about level 5 restrictions in Ireland is they also come with a 5-kilometer radius of movement that you can do from your home. There are some essential journeys, but nowhere does it say, it's really hard to find any information, is moving an essentials journey? And also going back and forth, renting a car, we didn't know how easily that would be possible. Would the car rental just close down? Yeah,
because there was things with essential businesses, etc. That not quite clear. So we were like, nah. We got to do this. If they're meeting on Friday to discuss something, we're already on the move. So this, besides getting movers, we then needed to get to, the place to get the keys as early as possible. Luckily for us, this earliest possible was 8 a.m. Was it?
Yeah. So to jump a bit in front. So on that Wednesday, after we heard the news on Wednesday morning, the first thing we did is we called the movers. And we kind of half decided by which movers had on the website that we could call the earliest. So at 8 a.m. we were like, hi, can you please help us move on Friday, please? And we found someone who was able to do it. So we were booked in for Friday afternoon. So we had from that day on, so on Wednesday we booked them. So we were like, okay, we have 3 days to finish packing the entire flat, more or less.
3 days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, yeah, 3 days. Yeah,
kind of, yeah. 2 days.
Yeah. But, we were calm, cool, collective. The previous sentence was a lie. Yeah. But Friday came, etc. That. Because just imagine mad, furious packing. Friday came, we got a taxi with, we got a mask, etc. That. And we made a trip up here.
Listening to Lana Del Rey Bartender on repeat for 40 minutes almost, because apparently the taxi driver is a huge fan, or the CD got stuck, I'm not sure.
Yeah. No, they were definitely a fan, because at least for the first 3 times they were humming along with it. So, sure. But we got here, got the keys, etc. That, and then it was back down to Dublin. I go, but it wasn't that fast.
Well, still Dublin, but central Dublin where we used to live.
Yeah, because we're on the north side now. Back to the north side. Yeah. So cool. Bye other side of the Liffey, where we're back where we belong, You're
just waiting for the Southsiders to hate us in the comments. I'm sorry, we've always been secretly Northsiders. That's where we first lived and that's where we're back now.
Yeah. So we had to travel by bus back down, etc. That. So we also timed it so that we wouldn't be there in the rush hour traffic as well.
To clarify, maybe if you don't know about Ireland, so under level 3 you have only 50% capacity of the buses. I always thought that means only 50% of the buses go, so you have to wait longer. But what it actually means is that there's seats sort of cordoned off with a sign, so you can only sit on literally 50% of the seats. Or maybe I'm still getting it wrong. If you know more about public transport and the COVID restrictions, let me know in the comments, because that was the first time we took the bus this year, I think.
Yeah.
With everything happening, it was literally the first time.
The first time.
So it's been a while, and certainly not during COVID, so let us know in the comments if you got it wrong.
Yeah, so the crazy thing is that we both got back to the flat there, grabbing as quick brunch, lunch as we could. Because our amazing plan of action was that I stay at the old flat, Julia be at the new flat, and you know, I'd be like helping the movers packing stuff. Yeah, all socially distanced, you know, mask, etc. That there were 2 of them, etc. But I was just like, you know, we're in the outside, it's cool. But then there was this like younger guy, cause I mean, spriteful, full of energy, but good thing I've been working out a tiny bit, so I was able to jump up and down these stairs, etc. That he was not skipping a breath, etc. That I was there sweating, but I was able to do it. I got my workout in for the day.
One thing we learned, movers are a lot stronger than you think. We could have put more stuff in the boxes looking back. Because I thought they were heavy. That guy obviously didn't think so, considering he was almost throwing them gently, but like with relative ease.
Yeah. They came back out here pretty quickly, you know, before we knew it. Boom, most of the stuff there was moved in. I stayed back at the flat to clean up a little bit, because, you know, that's what you need to do. More on that in another video, because words, but those will come later. But all in all, that was us moving, you know. In the end, crazy that it happened. We did it. There's still some more little tidbits there. Wasn't funny thing, but we could have slept. We did sleep in the house for all intents and purposes. We moved in on the Friday. So yeah, that's why you haven't seen any videos for a bit. We recovered, so hey, whenever you see this one, hopefully it's this week. But you don't know what the week this is, so hopefully you see it Friday. Hopefully this is Friday that you're seeing it. If not, it's a Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, we love you all. Okay, shall we? Yeah, I think this is all the story time for today. Next video, we'll probably go back to what it's like, you know, probably about moving, more stuff about renting, since we are in the actual process.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, there's some, as you can tell from the story, moving in Dublin was stressful before. It's a whole new level if you try during COVID and trying to beat lockdown restrictions.
Yeah, especially if you've been here for a while and you have a collection of stuff. This was...
Why did we have so much stuff? Where is it all coming from? Our flat was so tiny. Where did it all go to be there in the first place? I still don't understand.
Yeah, well, that's all for now. Be sure to subscribe for more, hopefully not as entertaining stories of this, because I need to live through the stress again. I don't want this anytime soon, but for more tips, tricks, you know, stuff about life in Dublin, yeah, this is the place to get this stuff. Check out our other videos, and we'll see you next time. Bis später.
Bye.